Today is May 17, 2023. My name is Rob Carr of Kalamazoo Right to Life, and this is Pro-Life Week. Well, reporting on some good items today. The pro-life movement we are on the move, we are on the march, and it's exciting to see what God is doing through the movement as we save the lives of unborn babies. First item, little item here, the governor of Montana. Yesterday, the governor of Montana signed a bill that would ban dismemberment abortions. And maybe the theme for today's program is that no matter where your pro-life law lands, it saves lives. Whether it's a ban on dismemberment, 15 weeks, 12 weeks, 6 weeks at conception, anywhere along that spectrum, lives are saved, and that is a wonderful thing. So Montana is going to have a ban on dismemberment abortions. Also yesterday, the House Judiciary Subcommittee held a hearing called, quote, Revisiting the Implications of the FACE Act, and unquote. And one of the witnesses was Mark Houck. Now remember, Mark Houck was the man from Pennsylvania who had been praying outside of an abortion clinic in Philadelphia. He engaged with a clinic escort who was harassing his son. There was a little bit of a disturbance where he pushed the escort down because he was harassing his son. There were no charges brought, but then months later, the federal government stepped in and they sent 15 or 20 FBI agents to his house at 6:30 in the morning and arrested him with guns drawn and terrorizing his 7 children. Well, if convicted, he would have faced 11 years in prison and a $300,000 fine. But in his trial, about maybe 3 months ago, a jury found him not guilty. And interestingly enough, the jury deliberated for 1 hour. You know, sometimes you always hear about these hung juries or these juries that will spend two or 3 or 4 days trying to negotiate a vote. Well, they spent 1 hour finding Mark Houck innocent. And you know, the bottom line is that Congress needs to see or know that the Justice Department has systematically targeted pro-life activists and scaring them into fear of arrest and imprisonment. And Mark Houck's situation was a case in point. Pro-life Congressman Jim Jordan, who is a great congressman from Ohio, he is the chairman of this subcommittee. Okay, next item. There's a little dust-up between Donald Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over the latter's signing of a 6-week heartbeat bill last week. So on Monday, Trump commented on the bill and said that it was, quote, too harsh. He says about the DeSantis bill, quote, he signed 6 weeks, and many people within the pro-life movement feel that was too harsh, unquote. That was a Trump quote. Well, I disagree with that. You know, if you were to ask your average pro-lifer, he or she would say that life begins at conception. And most of us are not thrilled that even in a heartbeat bill, we are not thrilled that for the first 6 weeks, until the heartbeat is detected, for the first 6 weeks, that baby is still the target. For 6 weeks, there's still a search and destroy mission to find and kill that baby. So what does Trump want? What does he want? And he says he's looking for all options. But then Trump, he kind of does what he does best. he brags on himself. And if you've been watching or listening to my little YouTube program for any time, you'll know that even though I voted for Trump enthusiastically for two different times, 2016 and 2020, I do struggle with Trump's demeanor, his braggadocio demeanor. He never admits a mistake. He never will apologize. He's not very humble. But I do find him quite insecure that when he's challenged, all of a sudden he gets all upset. You're being disloyal. So anyway, I know I'm kind of getting off target here, but he says, bragging on himself, quote, for 50 years, they've been trying to that's the pro-life movement, have been trying to get rid of Roe v. Wade. I was able to do it. Nobody could ever have done that but me. And I was able to do it by nominating 3 excellent justices to the Supreme Court. And I was able to do that, unquote. Well, I agree completely that Donald Trump's selections of Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett were superlative picks. I agree completely that Donald Trump hit 3 grand slams with those 3 justices. But Donald Trump is not a legal scholar, as I am not either. But he was not aware of the names of these justices or these judges. When he was running for office, the Federalist Society gave him names of prospective federal judges for whether it's district, appellate, or Supreme Court. He was given names of credible, reliably pro-life lawyers or judges all across the country, and he picked from that list. And I'm saying great picks. But he did not do the homework on these 3 judges. He did not do the homework. He obviously he consulted with his advisors, and I'm sure he got a lot of great advice. And in this case, he took the advice, and it was great. It was great. I applaud Donald Trump for nominating these 3 individuals, and he has been the most pro-life president in American history. He has been. I agree completely. But he still wants to make it all about himself. And in the process, he wants to demonize or belittle some of his opponents who are challenging him for the nomination. And Ron DeSantis is a case in point. And he signs a 6-week heartbeat bill, and Trump finds fault. Well, can't we just applaud DeSantis' decision to sign the bill? Can't we applaud Donald Trump's ability to get 3 justices across the finish line? We can applaud, we can cheer and celebrate these cases without attacking people. So that's my point. There's no need to attack Ron DeSantis for signing a heartbeat bill, because the heartbeat bill is far more pro-life than the 15-week bill that was the previous law in Florida. And before that, under Roe v. Wade, it was 24 weeks. 6 weeks is better than 24 weeks. There's no need for criticism. Okay. Every pro-life bill saves lives. Remember, under Roe, it was viability. It was 24 weeks. So the Mississippi law, the focus of Dobbs, was a ban after 15 weeks. That saved hundreds, if not thousands, of lives. North Carolina, yesterday, the state legislature overrode the governor's veto. And you need a 2/3 vote to override a veto on a bill that would ban abortions after 12 weeks. That saves plenty of lives. There are other provisions in that bill. A woman must get an in-person examination before she can get the abortion pill. No mail order pills in North Carolina. It's also a crime, according to this bill, to coerce a woman into an unwanted abortion. And yesterday, debate began on the South Carolina Fetal Heartbeat and Protection Act. Democrats, I get this, Democrats began introducing yesterday 1,000 amendments. 1,000 amendments. And there was actually a preliminary amendment that was a pro-life introduced amendment. It passed 76 to 27. So then these 1,000 amendments are being considered, and up until 7:15 last night, the first 60 pro-abortion amendments were considered, and they were all defeated by equal numbers. The no's were in the mid 70s, and the pro-abortion yes votes were in the mid 20s. Thank God that there are some states with good, strong pro-life majorities, and that is a strong pro-life majority in South Carolina. According to the rules, each amendment can be debated for only 6 minutes. 3 minutes for each side. And this is a special session, and it almost sounds like they're going to keep going. So there's going to be plenty of coffee going around on both sides of the aisle as these state lawmakers thrash out the status of 1,000 amendments. Last item. Last night there was an election in the state of Kentucky, and the pro-life Attorney General Daniel Cameron won the GOP gubernatorial primary. So in November, he's going to be challenging the current pro-abortion governor Andy Beshear in November. So, and I think Daniel Cameron is definitely a rising star within the Republican Party. And obviously springboarding to governor would be a great step in that direction as he gets more national coverage. So from start to finish, this is all good pro-life news. We are moving. We are on the march. And to God be the glory. Great things he has done. With that, I'll let you go, and I will see you next time.